When it comes to music and video games, it's hard to talk about my favorite songs. The reason for this is I really don't know the first thing about music. What I do know, however, is the way it makes me feel can really change the quality of it. A happy song can make me feel happy, and that would be a good song. And the opposite is true if it was a sad song. Super Mario 3D World has one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. Not just because I grew up with the game, not just because I hear these songs on a daily basis, but because they really stick with me, and they're some of the best in the Mario series. So, I guess I'll start with this countdown with number 13, The Great Tower Showdown 2. I'm going to be talking about how this music makes me feel, starting with this song. When you climb up the final tower in this game, facing off against Meowser, who's right behind you, it's truly a delightful experience. The first time you do it, it's wonderful. And as the game goes on, you get more and more nervous. And despite the fact that I've beaten it countless times, it still sticks out to me as wonderful. And now it's time for one that's a lot less triumphant. Number 12 is Hissocrat. Now, you might not know who Nathaniel Bandy is, but he is a popular Mario YouTuber, I can tell you that. And if there's one thing I know about him, is that he does love this song a lot. It's hard not to love this song, no matter who you are. The battle takes place against a snake who are carrying a bunch of dishes. It's a very weird idea, but it somehow works. It's cartoony enough to where it fits in the Mario universe, but it's unique enough to where it feels fresh. It represents Mario 3D World as a whole. An incredible soundtrack that goes along with just a very fun boss fight and level. And now for something a bit more relaxing. Who doesn't love a good beach song? It can be incredibly nice, and sometimes they can really help you feel relaxed. And number 11, Sunshine Seaside, is just that. The way this game crafts its beach levels just feels like a tropical vacation. It feels like Mario Sunshine, but a lot less bubbly, and that's kind of nice. Seeing the distant sun on the horizon and Sunshine Seaside reminds me of the very first few times I went to the beach when I was younger. It perfectly encapsulates what I think the beach is, and that's why I love this song. Oh, and it should be noting that it does sound quite similar to the athletic theme of the game, but we're not quite there yet. When you think of Savannah worlds in Nintendo games, what comes to mind? For me, it's Bright Savannah from Tropical Freeze. And the reason that world sticks out to me is because there's so much life going on in the African savannah. So much is bustling with world and wonder. It's very nice. And this next song, Ant Trooper Hill, is just that. The song plays on a few levels, but the most noteworthy one being Sprawling Savannah. The sunset in this level is simply beautiful on the savannah. And just like Sunshine Seaside, it's always been the description of what I imagine this type of world to look like. The amount of world building in 3D World is fantastic, and it does stick out to me a lot, even more so than other Mario games. Maybe seen as generic, but this song is definitely quite nice, and there isn't really anything quite like it, actually. Now, I think it would be a safe assumption to say that every human on the planet has heard the overworld theme of Super Mario Bros. It's stuck in many people's heads, and for good reason. It represents one of the most influential games in, well, gaming history. And there have been countless remixes of it over the years. Many by Nintendo fans, but mostly by Nintendo themselves. My favorite of these versions is Rainbow Run. I like it even more than the original version. You get to World Star in the game, you feel as though, despite the fact that you triumphed over Meowser and saved the Sprixie Princesses, your adventure isn't quite over yet. This level dawns a new hope onto you, and as simple as the song is, it really does help you feel like it's that much more wonderful. And that's pretty good for a remix of a 3D Land song. Mario songs are usually very happy, but, like Donkey Kong, they can often be more relaxed. And in a world as crazy as this, and I'm not just talking about the real-life world, I'm talking about the Mario world, it's nice to have something that's calmer and just nicer to listen to. That's what Puff Prod Peaks is. It's a very nice song, and it perfectly encapsulates that despite 3D World's bubbly atmosphere, it can take a step back, even if it's just for a few minutes. The levels Puff Prod Peaks, which is made of fabric in the night sky, and Footlight Lane especially, where you're standing high above the clouds on these blue platforms that only appear when you get near to them. It's very nice, and it makes for one of the most relaxing songs in Mario history. I've heard some people say that 3D World has a thing for circuses. I don't think anyone's doubting that. Levels like Switch Scramble Circus or Tricky Trapeze Theater all go along with that idea, and some of the bosses like Hissocrat or Mosley Boss Bob also prove that. But the name of the song, Switch Scramble Circus, is a weird one. It has that alliteration, but it also has progression. Not just the name, but the actual song itself. The farther you get into the circus, the more crazy things are. And at the very end, when you launch yourself out of the cannon to the flagpole, and you hear that final note hit, it's pretty nice. And the fact that the game is able to pull such a unique theme off that early in the game, only the 5th level, is pretty darn cool.